guest is David Mazor. He's the founding executive director of Amherst-based Reader to Reader, Inc. Terribly oversimplified, sir. First of all, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
But Reader to Reader is all about a very simple idea of getting books into the hands of kids in poor communities, Native American reservations, in this country, kids around the world, kids who otherwise wouldn't have books.
That's correct. And we've distributed about 5 million books across the United States and in 16 countries.
The idea is so simple to envision, but I'm sure it's not easy to do. Where'd the campaign start for you? Where'd the inspiration, the germination come from for you to do this?
Well, it started in a very small way. Actually, many years ago, about 12 years ago, my daughter was attending a college in North Adams, Mass College of Liberal Arts, and we were in a recession, and I stopped by the library because I had some books that I thought that I might be interested in, and they said that they hadn't been able to buy any books with the state library cutbacks. So I said, well, here's where my daughter's going to college. Maybe I can raise some books. We're really in such a book-rich area, living in the Amherst area where we have 5 colleges. And I started collecting books, and I collected 1,000 and then 5,000 books for them. And from there, people started to ask me, oh, you're collecting books. Do you collect books for other ages, for elementary schools, for high schools? And at the time, I really wasn't. And I thought, well, gee, I wonder where the poorest community in the United States is. And I just sort of woke up in the middle of the night with that question. And I went to my computer and I typed in poorest state, and up came Mississippi. And then I typed in poorest town, and there was an article, I think it was from Time magazine, on Durant, Mississippi. And I wrote down some information. In the morning, I called the school there and said, do you need any books at your school? And they said, we haven't had a book donation in 30, 40 years. So then I realized that there was really, really an acute problem. And that got me very motivated to start collecting books. Over time, it evolved into an organization that does more than just donate books. We run a number of what I hope are really innovative literacy programs that reach a whole bunch of different demographics. But it really started just right at the heart of it with getting books into the hands of people who didn't have books.
Well, let me ask you about what has grown out of this. As you said, you started about 2002. 2007, you move into mentoring. It's called Read, Think, Share Literacy Mentoring Program. You've got college students connecting through the web, which is fascinating and so easy and just part of life for them and for students. They're connecting with mainly middle school age kids. And we'll take it from there. Tell us what Read, Think, Share is about.
Well, as you mentioned, we do work on Native American reservations. And we were working at a high school on the Navajo reservation in a very isolated area. And we had donated about 10,000 books. And it really wasn't affecting reading scores. And I was talking to the librarian and talking to some of the teachers, and I realized there really wasn't the culture of reading in that community. If your parents don't read, if your brothers and sisters don't read, then you end up not reading. And it really wasn't just a matter of not having the resource. Now, we are based at Amherst College, and we just have access to some of the brightest students. And I thought, well, what if we linked those students to the book and brought their students and our Amherst College students together to read a book and share and discuss it online? And it was a very, very simple idea. And that was really a breakthrough to creating something where the kids, the students, whether they're middle school or high school, got very excited. And I realized, we're really in a situation where a lot of the activities the kids do, someone cheers them on if they play on the basketball team, if they score a touchdown, if they do something like that. And reading is really a solitary activity. And if we could bring it to life with a person behind it, then the books really work their magic at that point. But it's the breakthrough to get a discussion going on, to getting an engagement going on that really gets students starting to read.
And there's a very local connection because you've got college students working with kids who are in Springfield, West Springfield, Holyoke, other places, and other places much more distant. But I mean, it's a simple idea. You're getting kids to read more, to enjoy the reading, and ultimately to think about what their educational future is.
That's right. You know, as I said, we started all the way across the country, and I really realized this was something we could bring into our local area, and that we have so many kids in the Springfield area that, you know, we have a dropout rate of about 50%, and we need to do something that gets them much more turned on about academics, much more motivated to read, not just as an assignment, but as an opportunity to express their own voice.
How can somebody out there seeing this help in a way, whether it's books, whether it's participating in some way? This clearly, I mean, this is organic, it seems. It's growing in a way on its own, but with a lot of good input and thought from good people like yourself and your students. Where can we all become part of this?
Well, right now our model is to use college students, but we do have a need for books. We do engage other community members in our programs, and we'd love to have people who are interested in literacy contact us and get involved.
Kids involved have shown greater reading skills, they're reading more, and they're comprehending more. And that's so important, isn't it? That's so basic to what you're trying to get done.
That's right. I think what we found is a breakthrough that takes the reluctant reader. Because what we're talking about is people who've developed, some skill at reading, but don't have an interest in it. And unlocking that key that makes them a motivated reader. Because all of our academic success really builds out of having stronger reading skills and stronger writing skills. And their correspondence back and forth with the college students raises their level of academic achievement. They rise to the occasion because these college students are really role models for them.
You mentioned a number of 5 million books a while ago. I ran across a number in one of the news stories about your organization, and correct me if I've got this wrong, and maybe it's outdated by now, but so far over $50 million worth of books and computers donated, and not including, this is in addition to, I believe, $3.5 million in books and supplies to the Navajo reservation schools you mentioned.
That's correct. One of the things that we branched off into as we grew was building computer labs, and we've donated a lot of computers locally, but we've donated them all the way Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, areas where, again, linking people up by computer really opens up the world for them. And I'm really proud of the amount of resources we've been able to donate. But it's really always about that one book that connects to a child, that connects to a student. Ultimately, that's where the breakthrough is. We found that a student will tell you, I don't like to read, I'm not interested in reading. And then they'll slowly evolve. They'll say, I don't really like to read, but I like this book. And once they say, I like this book, we know we have them. And I have been very surprised that we've had students move from the beginning of the school year, because this is a school year-long program that they do every single day, where they'll move from, I hate to read, to I have a new hobby and I love to read. So that process is possible, and we're really glad to be involved in that.
In your imagination, in your mind's eye, where does it all go from here? Because it occurs to me that really no limit. Every year there's a new group of kids and a new group of college students, and it seems it could just go on and grow and grow.
Well, originally we had about 7 college student reading mentors and 15 kids participating. Today we have about 1,200 high school students, middle school students participating, and about 140 college students from the 5 colleges. So that shows you already the growth potential, but we see the whole thing as very, very scalable. And I'm hoping that just even in our area, that we could be triple or quadruple that in a few years.
Well, David Mazor, it's an amazing idea. Founding Executive Director of the Amherst-based Reader to Reader, Inc. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.